Yeah. No worries. I'm about to call Mike Burns.
We're
And then
live.
see.
Hello, and welcome to the Gymnastics Network. I'm excited and filled with happiness, surprise, and experience for what we are going to witness today. Today is a historic day that has never been done before, and it is about to be done here on the Gymnastics Network in partnership with Vertius. We have the very first online international meet. And I'm very blessed to be able to share that with our guest today. Why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself for all of the people watching?
I'm Eddie Humphrey. I was a former gymnast at the University of Michigan. Also coached 4 years with the Michigan women's team where we won 4 Big Ten titles. Got four rings, which was very nice. Since then, I've been coaching, own my own gym, Grace Gymnastics, right here in Katy, Texas. So thank you for having me on. Excited to be a part of history right now. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. It's going to be a really fun and interesting matchup. Uh, I really don't know too much about this international team. I know a lot about Army, but I think it's just gonna be really interesting matchup just because this is the first time the Vertius platform is gonna be able to go is gonna be live streamed for an international event, which is just gonna be fun just to watch and just sit and watch some good gymnastics.
Yeah, this is a cool thing. I mean, this is groundbreaking. I only wish when I was competing we had this.
Yeah, right. It's like I don't know. It looks like we're gonna be looking at our first routine right now from Mitch Hugh.
So far, coming out strong. That was a nice double tuck stuck. Front full to a nice, clean front layout. Transitioning into a press handstand. It's key for these first guys going up to build the momentum for each routine. These are the guys, they may not necessarily be your big hitter, but you always want that first guy to go out, rock a big routine, get the momentum going, get the rest of the guys into it. Seems like they have a little bit of a crowd there, so that's kind of nice. A few people cheering in the back. Not as usual, but and a nice routine. Good finish with a 2.5 D dismount right there. Great momentum for Army.
Yeah, that was a really good lead-off score. We always talk about that in the NCAA circuit with that lead-off score. You know, really the lead-off routine, really wanting it to be a hits routine. You know, just to basically just get the team flowing into a really nice groove and rhythm. Just getting ready for Graham Shaw from Army to go next, and really hit his routine. But now we're gonna look at Hibiki Nagasawa.
All right, this is going to be our first look into the Japanese gym, which, like I said, groundbreaking. I mean, this is pretty amazing that we get to do an international competition. And most of these college athletes will never get to experience that, but technology has brought us together. Oh, what an unfortunate fall.
It's fell
A
his
unique
double
first
front.
pass, double front, and just kicked out too soon, sat it down.
What I really love is they do really beautiful gymnastics from the Niigata Club.
Overall, the Japanese are historically known for their quality in gymnastics, their artistry, and like you said, the form is just top notch, on point, always really clean, really fun to watch.
Yeah, they just have that look to their gymnastics, with their hands are really nice, the feet are really nice. They don't really like to give away easy tens, and everything is always really controlled. You see Hibiki finishing up with a really nice triple full. Does a slight hop to the right, but they're gonna really look to try to drop that score in their lineup to try to get the momentum going back on the Niigata side, as Hibiki had that a fall on his first pass, the double front. Now we're going to be transitioning over to look at Graham Shaw for Army.
Let's see if Army can build on this.
Yeah, let's.
Build on this early lead. Sorry,
Army
go ahead.
has been known to capitalize on momentum. I feel like when I see one hit routine from Army, I feel like they typically start getting into a little train and a little groove of hitting more and more routines. So we're gonna see. We just got the salute from Graham Shaw, so here he goes. Triple full with a stick to start. Pretty unconventional pass. Normally you see gymnasts do the triple full as their dismount. Graham is gonna do it as first pass. Nice layout punch half as his second pass. One thing I've noticed about these Army guys is a lot of them, while they might not do the hardest gymnastics, they try to stay extremely, extremely clean. And yeah, Army does have 3 competitions this week on Verdius. This is just the first one. Very taxing schedule for them, along with Michigan. Michigan has 3 meets as well this week, and so does Army. I didn't think that was even possible, but here we are.
Yeah, you mentioned that they have these back-to-back-to-back competitions, and just the interesting thing with COVID is a lot of these meets had to be canceled or delayed or postponed, and so it put the teams in a very unique position where they have to scramble to get competitions in. You always want to get that experience in as well. So being able to get here online in front of a computer allows these guys to kind of put together some quick meets.
Yeah, and it's all really thanks to the Verdius platform. Without it, we wouldn't be able to do that. Michigan getting shut down with the B117 variant, and teams pulling out of meets and stuff like that. The flexibility that this online platform has given us has been an absolutely tremendous help to the gymnastics community, and just overall into saving the sport. We're looking at the future right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are living it. This didn't exist in my competition days. This is Akasazi Kobayashi.
2.5 to start. Really big pass. It's an E value skill.
Nice, Randy. Just a big hop, but like you said, big start.
I really want to talk about the equipment that they're using. Obviously, this isn't an NCAA sanctioned competition, just due to the Niigata club not being in the NCAA. So they are using different equipment. They're using the Japanese brand equipment, which I actually forget the name of.
Spieth, I believe. I think they use Spieth.
All right, so if they are using the Spieth floor, is what I'm told from Isaac. And I've heard that there are advantages to the Spieth floor. Do you feel like the international gymnasts have an advantage using some of the Spieth equipment?
I'll just say from my own experience competing in the U.S., competing overseas in Europe, I loved the international equipment, especially me being, bigger guy. I competed at, 180, 185, and just the ergonomics of the equipment, being able to save your body, even little things like being able to adjust the tension on the rings, the tension on the high bar with just one pull of a cable, getting a little extra bounce on the parallel bars. I felt like it really saved the body. I love the equipment that Spieth, Bjornsson, Fritzen make. I think they do a good job about helping protect the athletes. AAI makes great equipment too. I always loved competing internationally on the international equipment. I always found it a little bit easier. Not to downplay the difficulty of gymnastics that the Japanese team is doing. They're definitely doing a phenomenal job and throwing some pretty big stuff.
Well, to be fair, they are doing gymnastics that is at a much harder level, and I feel like it is proportional to the equipment. So yeah, that is Japan does use Sino. I do remember that Kevin
You know,
Kevin Panev actually Kevin Panev actually told me that a while ago. I just blanking on the name. And I didn't know that Army is approved to use this to count for their NCAA record. Yes, as an NCAA meet, which is really exciting to see. Right now, we're going to be looking at Matt Davis, and Matt Davis is the star of Army. He's just cooking through his routine really nicely.
yeah, he's got some springs. Great opening with the whip to Arabian double front. He could have punched out of that if he wanted to. Coming back on the second pass with a huge full in and giving his own little shout out to the international competition with his version of a press handstand, a Japanese press.
Yep, the Japanese press. I'm waiting to see one of those from Team Japan over there. See if they can do it better. But here comes Matt's last pass. Back 2.5. Done really clean.
Army's off to a strong start. This is really good to see from these guys. Next, we should have Shion Tanaka. So far, they've bounced back strong from the fall in the beginning, and it's a long competition. What's important when you have a teammate that falls is that you keep your head in the game because you never know what can happen. There's a lot of routines go on throughout the day, so as long as they keep hitting, they'll be right in this.
All right, here he goes. Full punch double twist and a little bit of a low landing.
Yeah.
So a very large opening pass, though. And it's really something to point out, too. This is awesome that Army can count this for an NCAA score for them. I think that makes meets like this a lot more marketable for NCAA teams that are, that are looking for some more competition. And that's what it's about, right? It's creating more opportunities, not only for these teams that are international, but for our teams that are here domestically, right? The fact that we can make this count for an NCAA, a position for the NCAA title or competing, that is everything, right? That just shows we're creating more opportunity, and that's the beauty of kind of this meet as well. But a little bit low on that landing there. But regardless, seems like at Niigata, they can tumble, man. I know the Japanese, at least at the highest level, are known for being much better than the U.S. on floor, and it seems like there's a lot of difficulty here. Whereas on the United States, I feel like a lot of times there is a little bit more cadence towards playing it safe and doing a low start value, but we've seen that with other teams like Cal, and usually in the U.S. that seems to fare fairly well. Yes, that is also an amazing point as well. Let's run that down as well here. You guys got to remember, Japan, it's 9 in the morning for these guys, right? So they're coming out, and 9 a.m., I used to practice at 9 a.m. Let me tell you, it ain't easy to get up that early in the morning and get it done. But that just goes to show you, I believe in the Japanese press release that I was reading from Niigata, they said, we want to show how strong the Japanese people are. I don't know how terrible that translation is, really, but from what I was reading on Google Translate, it sounded pretty neat. They seemed up to the challenge, and it looks like they're going to rise up to that occasion as we're getting ready for the next pass here from our man, believe this is
Calvin
Calvin
Kingshill.
Kingshill. Yeah. So let me get these up. Nice double full there. Coming out.
Nice and clean. And what you're going to see a lot is you'll see a good mixture of big gymnastics and then good gymnastics that's just clean. And sometimes that's the name of the game, not swinging for the fences, but just getting a good base hit, building momentum, staying clean, getting a good solid score, and keep it moving forward.
So how important is it to build momentum throughout the lineup?
Oh, it's huge because one routine can build off the other. As a coach, one thing that I preach to my athletes too is that even if you have five athletes, everybody does the same exact routine, same landings, everything. The next routine is going to have the tendency to go at least a little bit higher, a tenth, 2/10. And we all know that this is a game, not just of inches, this is a game of millimeters. And every little tenth counts. This could come down to the very last landing.
Here we're looking at Koki Tisara. Sorry if I'm messing up any of these names. Double twist punch 1.5. That's a really big pass. He was just a little bit off axis twisting for the double full and just landed out of bounds. 2.5 punch half down the diagonal. Done with an extremely high execution and just precision in all of his twisting. These are really clean routines from Niigata. They've been on the easier side. They've been very calm routines. No super big start values like you've seen from Wataru and some of those Jim Kazu. But these are really good routines, really clean routines that Team Japan's going to be able to develop eventually.
An unfortunate fall at the end on a triple full going for a big D pass and just couldn't get enough rotation on it. So right now, Japan has two falls.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic, especially when we look at Japan in the Olympics and on the international scene. You never see them fall. It's very weird to see them fall here, but this is just a test run, and this is not Team Japan. This is Club Niigata.
I mean, so far, I would say I've been extremely impressed at what at what the Japanese team has been able to do so far. Right, they're experimenting with a new platform they've never used before, which is always a little bit intimidating. But then simultaneously, they're 9 in the morning, guys. Gotta remember that. But here we go, Miguel and Konyo for Army here. Opens up with that big pass. Nice double layout there. A little bit of a pike down on the way down. But let me tell you something about Miguel. He is a quantified power tumbler, and he will put it down where he needs to put it down. Seeing that nice little connection pass there. Looks like he was actually going to go for another twist, but then opted to not do it. Goes into that nice little split. Sees the presentation. Keeps it nice and clean. Slowing it down. Breathing here. And doing a nice press.
It was nice, calm, and relaxed press handstand right there.
Yeah, that was a great recovery there. I just see such poise from these guys. A lot of confidence coming from the Army athletes today. Nailing landings, great form, big gymnastics. Staying clean with a good runoff layout. Should be bringing it home here. This could be big from him if he hits this.
Yeah, and Miguel finished with that massive double Arabian. Very clean. That's a very hard dismount to do. You typically see people do the twisting dismounts. But, like Isaac said, Miguel is a power tumbler. And he did a really good job at finishing that dismount, that big boy dismount, as I like to say.
Blind landing, that's hard to do. Next on floor, we have Genta Namamatsu.
Yeah, so both teams' difficulties have been pretty evenly matched. So yeah, like I said, I don't really feel like uh, they're really going out there and doing the hardest routines, but they are doing these routines very clean. But something that Army is doing better than Nagata is that they're going out here and they're hitting the routines. Nagata has struggled a little bit. They've had two falls this rotation to date, where where Army has been able to capitalize on their mistakes. So I'm wondering if we're going to see that be the case throughout the meet, or if Nagata's going to be able to pick it up. Here is Genta.
And to note for everybody at home, a fall is worth a full point, plus you don't get the value of the skill. The credit for the skill, I should say. Yeah, this is a big routine already starting out with a tuck double double. One of the bigger passes we'll see today. Back 2.5 to a punch front double full. Great connection pass. Very clean.
Everything is really
Jab
controlled.
press. Here we go.
A little bit of a leg drop is right there, and maybe even a little bit short on the hold. I don't know. It just my judging eye is a little bit rusty.
1.5, Rudy, and yet another fall, just off axis. It looked like the roundoff didn't quite get turned over enough, and he just didn't have enough power to finish the twist and rotation.
Triple stuck cold though. Sheesh. Oh, let me put up the stick flag. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit out of frame here. We had some really good stuff right there on the dismount. Sadly, he just had that fall on a 1.5, 1.5. He's gonna be kicking himself for that one. Just naturally. Just a 1.5, 1.5 isn't too difficult of a pass. It's only a C to C connection, but can be a little bit tricky if you twist off axis, like a lot of the Japanese guys have figured out how to do. But there's always lapses in technique, and I feel like he just had a little lapse in his technique there.
But I love the point that Psych in the chat made for us here. These teams are actually very well matched up. I'm looking at the start values here. They are almost identical after I'm doing the math. I think Japan might have a tiny bit more start than we do. But regardless, I think it's going to be an extremely close matchup. And I really love that we can go in and see an entirely other gym with all different equipment. It really gives you a perspective that gymnastics is bigger than what we think it is, right? It exists outside of just the NCAA. I feel like a lot of times, especially for myself, I felt like the only thing that really mattered was the NCAA or, maybe a few lucky guys that got to go to the Olympics every year. But in order for us to expand this sport and create more opportunities, we have to understand the market, right? And for viewers, guys, this is an amazing experience. We can actually have teams from the other side of the world come in and compete with us. That is just, to me, it's the most beautiful thing that's really ever been done. So you're going to hear me say it a million times, and I don't care. I think it's the coolest thing ever. But as we kind of learn more and more about Niigata, we can learn kind of what matters, right? But as we can see, we're getting ready for our first routine, but it looks like Army is currently leading Niigata. So we're going to roll it back over into the pommel horse as star Matthew Davis gets ready for his pommel horse routine here.
You guys may have noted in your earlier broadcast, there's 4 element groups for each event that are required besides vault. And With those four elements, as long as you fulfill them, you get zero point 0.5 to the score, or if you don't fulfill them, zero point 0.5. So for pommel horse, one of the requirements is a scissor. You have to do a circling element, a travel element, and then a D dismount. But if the dismount is not worth a D value skill, you inquire a 3/10 deduction.
Yeah, it's just NCAA rule set. Uh, I feel like everyone should have to be pushing E dismounts. Hot take. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like the NCAA should move to only allowing E dismounts, and so should the FIG.
E dismounts?
Yeah,
It would be nice to see those big dismounts, especially on pommel horse, where you get the circling handstands that just look gorgeous and beautiful. It'd be nice to see more of that.
I think the only event that we're gonna have a problem moving the E dismounts with is gonna be floor.
What do you mean, rings?
All the best guys already do double double.
Yeah, but that's all the best guys. You're gonna alienate so many other guys that want to do gymnastics. I don't agree with that at all.
It's a shame. You know what I mean? Somebody. Well, the way I see it, right, is that better never stops. Nobody is really gonna wait for somebody else to get better. Be like, oh, we have to wait for everyone to have a D dismount for us to move to an E dismount. I feel like
I don't like that. I think it should go the other way. I think it should be more inclusive. I honestly think we should be allowed to do C dismounts.
no.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
You already, Kenan, look at how many people already struggle to do a D dismount. And then to increase that level of difficulty for a requirement for them even more, you're just alienating more guys from the sport. How do you think the women's sport has been able to get so many people to do it at the college level?
Well,
It's not that hard.
the
I
wo-
mean, no disrespect
think-
to the women's side,
I think
but
that-
if you look at the college women's side versus the elite women's side, it is, a little bit more
Yeah,
catered
the woman
to
is-
be inclusive.
The woman is completely different. The women have gone the route of let's take everything out of the routine and make it a show.
What's wrong with that?
No, that's a good way, but
Yeah,
that-
we got Darren in the
You'll
chat.
see.
Ken is tripping.
get better.
But here
You know
we
what I
go.
mean? I'm in the DMs all night. Just get better. get an E dismount. You know, like
Anyway,
if
let's
you
get
if
let's
you
get
move
in
to E
here on
dismounts, you're gonna go after and get an E dismount.
Tomoki here for Niigata. So far, an extremely beautiful pommel horse routine, but as Caster's Curse predicts, there will always be something that happens whenever I start to say that. Cannon has transferred his what is it called? Juju, your bad Caster's Curse onto me. But as far as that routine was looking, really nice difficulty, and I really liked the swing work. Good body position coming out from Tomoki there. And let's see if he can get back up and finish this routine. Looks like he's going to circle back up into the middle. And then a little bit of an unorthodox dismount there. Ken, did you happen to catch that?
Yeah, it was really weird dismount. What do you know what that dismount is worth?
I believe it's a D. I think just instead of doing the thing you see a lot of Americans do, where we really tend to lean towards that kind of like one pommel circle up into a dismount type of thing. I believe if you go behind the back, kind of in that Stockley position rather than the Moore position, it will still be a D.
Now, for the E dismount that you were hoping for, if he added the full pirouette to the end, he would have upgraded to the E dismount.
Exactly. Here we go. Zachary Mitchell for Army on the pommel horse. So far, looking extremely even between these two teams. We're going to need Army to stay on the horse here if they want to see their lead increase. Nice little C scissors start off. Nice more there as well. Some one pommel flop work here. Big stuff from Zachary Mitchell. But, gets a little bit stuck up, but stays up on the horse. Doesn't take the fall. Can we see him finish out this routine? Nice Magyar there, but he's fighting, and unfortunately, is going to jump off that horse.
Yeah, so now he's seeing two falls on both sides, or a fall apiece on both sides. So gonna be a really interesting and even matchup.
Yeah, pommel horse a lot of times is that make it or break it event for the all around and for the team. So this could be a momentum swing here. And Zachary did post a season high of a 12.5 on the pommel horse at the All Academy Championships. Unfortunately, we won't see that 12.5 today.
No, it does not look like he's going to be breaking his season high today. But regardless, Zach went up there. He had, unfortunately, that fall, but then he went back up and finished up the routine, and that's what it's about, keeping the momentum rolling, not only for himself, but for his fans and family as well. So we're going to roll it back over into the Niigata side. This is Ryo Sumi for Niigata. All right. Let's get into it. Currently, Army is leading by 1 point on this rotation. We're going to need a hit from Niigata here. Really nice work to start off. Looks like he's going to a flop sequence there. Really clean. I love the way his circle is flowing around the horse there. Nice woo. Stays on the horse. Really hard, difficult skill there. It's a D element. Nice Magyar. Stepping over that second pommel. Back on the...
We're just seeing a lot of falls.
A lot of falls.
Both teams.
A lot of times we talk about kind of this stick train that exists here on the Gymnastics Network. A lot of times you see guys that come on. We see one stick, we see another stick. But today, looks like we're just seeing some falls. But that's all right. Let's see if he can get back up and finish this routine with what he's got left. Looks like he's going to repeat the Savato there. So he gets the credit for the Savato. Circles back up into the middle. Looks like a Stockley there. And then same kind of dismount we saw earlier, but unfortunately doesn't make it over onto the other side of the horse. It falls onto the horse. So I'm not sure if they're going to give him credit for that dismount, one. But then simultaneously, looks like he's going to have to repeat that dismount. Ooh, that is a tough fall there.
Yeah, so he's going to have a little bit of a meltdown score here with those two falls.
Yeah. But, hey, Zachary Mitchell also had a meltdown score. He scored a 9.6. So, right now, it's
even.
either team's meet.
Especially with, this only being the second rotation, seeing this many falls is concerning me. But it is, once again, only the second rotation. Both these teams can decide, hey, I'm about to turn up, And, they go perfect, flawless, no more falls throughout the rest of the meet. And they just shoot the lights out, It's important to mention it's really only the second rotation where we're seeing all these falls. But next up, we're going to be looking at Graham Shaw.
Oh, man, Graham Shaw is a beast when it comes to pommel horse, but also you're going to see him on a couple of other events today as well. He can really swing, and I believe you're going to see him on rings as well. But let's start it off. Nice little Bailey there to start that. I believe that's a B now. Nice flop work coming out from Graham there. Triple Russian on the end here. Picks it right back up into a circle. Scissors back into the middle. Gets his little scissor sequence here. Looks like a couple of B scissors. Picks up. Back up into a really, really beautiful swing. Nice extension. Legs together. Toes pointed. Keeping it rolling. Keeping it rocking. Looks like he's going to go for a triple Russian dismount here. Can he get it? Yes, he can.
Very nice.
Really nice amplitude in that dismount, too.
That was beautiful.
The king of the Russian right there. We saw a nice Russian sequence on the palm, connected to a Russian sequence on the leather, finishing with a big Russian dismount.
Yeah, that was really nice. It looks like Isaac's casting curse, or caster's curse is gone because Isaac called it out, said that he had a really nice palm routine, and he went out there and did a really nice palm routine.
So, oh my gosh.
So now it's back to me.
So let's check this out, right? We saw that first routine from Matthew Davis, 11.6. We saw the next routine from Tomoki at a 10.6. But Zachary Mitchell and Ryo Sumi from Niigata both scored a 9.6. So both of those meltdown scores actually tied them up. Now, Army is still in the lead by a point, But all it's going to take is one really good routine hit from Niigata, and they're going to be right back in this.
Yeah,
This
and it really
is
only does
Akazu
take one routine.
Kobayashi. And this is right about the part of the competition where all it takes is one guy to change that momentum, go up there, rock a routine, bring some energy back to the bench, and get the team rolling in the right direction.
Nice full
Very
kicker.
nice. That was an E level skill that we saw. To a D Russian on the pommel. To a Woo.
Akikazu is really doing a good job of keeping his rhythm well. He's struggling a little bit on the balance on the palm horse, but his rhythm has been really good,
Oh, wow.
which has now allowed him to go
Sweet.
out there and hit his routine.
That was a great dismount. Eddie, what was kind of your thought process during that routine?
He just really attacked. Some of the routines that I saw where the athletes were coming on off, they just looked a little tentative, a little too much trying to be careful on the pommel horse. I know with my gymnastics personally, anytime I tried to just be too cautious, that's usually when I came off the equipment. But he just got up there and attacked. There was a couple pikes, a couple form breaks, but he stayed in motion, kept going after it, and even at the end on the dismount was just a hair off, but because of his aggressiveness was able to bring it home. So very evenly matched with two awesome routines back to back between the team from Japan and Army.
Yeah, at Penn State we have this saying. It's called "Let it hang." I mean, and we're referring to our dismounts, like that long hang coming down. But it really just says like, be confident, don't play anything safe. So
Well, pommel horse is one of those events, and I know, Eddie, you were just touching on it as well. It's one of those events where you have to be so confident in every movement that you do, right? It's about that level of saying, like, I'm going to put my hand here, and this is where my hand's going to be, and I need to make sure that I can push down on this hand and keep it appropriate as I'm going through. Something that I wanted to kind of ask you, Eddie, is what do you feel like with women's gymnastics? I know that you're coaching elite level women's gymnastics now. Where do you feel a parallel with pommel horse and kind of that world has intersected for you? That would be something interesting.
For the women, it's just like you always hear, it's really the balance beam. I feel like men's pommel horse, women's balance beam kind of parallel each other. And it's really that make it, break it. And those are the two events where just a millimeter off and all of a sudden you're standing on the floor at the chalk box. So, it's that interesting mix between focus, but not too much mental energy on it because you can definitely overthink both events.
That's a good point. I don't think a lot of people think about that. You can almost think yourself out of it, right? Something you see happen in chess even, where you're trying to think so many moves ahead, but you ultimately destroy yourself, and the right move's just so simple. But here we go. This is Joseph Minus. So far, some really good handstand work, good scissor handstand work from our friend Joseph here. Really nice tongue fade there, and then gets it up in a nice dismount. That's that E dismount.
Nice. Great routine.
Excuse me, that's actually a D dismount. The reason that is a D dismount is because he did not do a one pommel circle before he went up. He went right on the leather, and then if you do a dismount from the leather, meaning one hand on the leather the entire time, and then you press up into that handstand and do a pirouette down the horse once, that's a C. You have to come back to get that D.
Yep. That's the truth, but you could see where people actually can start doing that, those bigger dismounts. And I just am a big fan of just always pushing difficulty. So I think everybody should be pushing those E dismounts. But here we go. We're going to be looking at Yuito Matuso.
The half Savato straight into a Magyar. It's a great clean swing, very flat in the hips on the Savato. We don't really see any form breaks. And more up to a handstand and a simple dismount, but clean. There's not really a whole lot that the judge can take. But at this point, just building momentum with a good, clean routine is all you need.
Yeah, especially with how many falls that both of these teams have. I feel like the most important thing right now is just to be staying on the equipment to try to get some momentum. Just get the ball rolling. Because when you have falls like this and they're continuous, I feel like that negative energy could actually play a factor into your future performance as well. They can continue to fall on rings, continue to fall on vault. And, Army might be able to run away with this.
Absolutely. And gymnastics is one of those crazy sports where you have to have selective memory. You got to remember the good and then let the bad go because, like you said, it's easy to let that roll into the next routine, the next skill, and it can snowball very quickly.
That's very, very true. To Psych in the chat, yeah. I saw that in the warm up. One of the Japanese guys kind of did they from the middle they hopped over onto the leather in that one pommel work there, and it's kind of something you don't see very often. So nice little switch up. Really enjoyed that. But let's get in here with Matthew Martin for Army. Really nice scissor work so far. Keeping it classy, nice flops.
D flop.
Beautiful. Oh, keeps it right on that Russian flop there. Does a half woo back onto the horse. See a nice Magyar Savato sequence. Call that the pommel horse 1-2. And then let's see what else he's got in store for us. Nice press up there, but looks like he's going to take the C dismount.
Again, just keeping it simple, but keeping it clean. Getting that momentum of the hit routine.
Like I said, it's all about just getting the momentum back. Both teams have had pretty large momentum breaks, and I think they're gonna need to just come back down to earth and just relax a little bit, settle their nerves, and just reset. Hit the reset button.
Yeah, but here we go. Genta Namimatsu for Niigata University here. Eddie, can you do us a play-by-play for this routine, please?
Absolutely. This is going to be a very important routine. Typically, you have your better athletes, your big hitters, at the end of the lineup, and here he is at the end. And the team really needing a huge routine right now to keep them in the game, keep them even with Army. It's been neck and neck. Very focused. He's going to open with a scissored handstand, and you saw that he put his hand down on the leather. That changes the skill. He won't get credit for the D. So a slight mistake there. Not a major deduction into his flop sequence.
Oh, nice.
He's going to do palm loop to a Russian, which turns it into a D level skill. To a woo down the leather. Looping up to the pommel and off on a Magyar.
See him grab his head there as he came off the horse. Did you see how ran his fingers to his hair? You can just feel the frustration coming from him.
They're having some meltdowns over there at Niigata. They really got to just hit the reset button on rings, and rings is a really good event to do that. So I think their mentality right now is to just get through the palm horse rotation and build some momentum on rings.
Yeah, like you said, typically rings and vault for these type of teams are very strong. Areas where they can get that momentum back, get the difficulty up. But he's finishing with a nice Magyar Savato. And finishing. And, that's just unfortunate. That's just unfortunate. He showed a lot of heart getting back up there, swinging big, and just off with the balance. And you can see the disappointment. He doesn't even want to go to his teammates at that point. And unfortunate. We've all been there as athletes. That's a tough one.
That is a very hard fall. I've never seen that live. I've never seen anyone fall like that live. But
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I've seen guys fall like that in practice, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody fall like that at a competition. So I agree, Eddie. That is a really hard thing to recover from and go back over to your teammates and get cracking.
Oh, but the important thing to mention is that event is done. Florida, they had a little mistakes. Pommel horse is a pretty nerve-wracking event. You want to have good momentum going into pommel horse. But rings is an event that you typically don't see many people fall on. And if you do, it's going to be on the dismount. So I'm expecting them to either downgrade some dismounts or really focus on just hitting the routines. Because Nagata is going to need it if they want to come back on Army. So we're going to get the
Which
event overview thrown up for you whenever these scores update.
But so far, extremely close meet. It's another 2-point difference, it seems like, after this event, looking like Niigata scoring a 54.5 and Army putting up a 56.65. So Army's slowly creeping away with the lead here. But remember, there is plenty of more gymnastics to go around, and there is no doubt in my mind that we're not going to see these guys come back and tie it up. Like we said, these start values are really close, so all it takes is a couple of routines either from Army to where they slip up, or Niigata just keeps the burners on, and then before you know it, they're going to be right back in here. Probably going to see some evening out on rings.
You know, Isaac, I want to throw this question to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I feel like you have learned a lot of gymnastics in a very recent time. Where do you think that Nagata is going to be able to come back on Army? I am predicting that they're going to Army's going to be able to maintain their lead here. But I feel like with Nagata's just twisting technique, I feel like they're going to have some really powerful vaults that I know for a fact, because I've watched Army. Army doesn't necessarily have the highest vault starts.
Here's the thing. I believe that if Niigata, given their start values on the vault, it's really just going to come down to landings. If they can put some good landings down, we'll probably see, I would say, about a 1.5 jump back for Niigata here. Remember, they're about 3 points down right now. So I would say, given good landings on vault, we can expect about a 1.5 difference for Niigata to come back. And then on P-bars, Army is just, they're a good P-bars team when they hit. But we've seen them struggle a little bit in order to kind of get that done this year. So for Niigata, it's going to be about hitting that P-bars routine. I know they've got some decent dismounts over at Niigata as well, so it's probably going to trump some of the Army B and C dismounts that they do, and it's going to allow them to kind of get a little bit of a jump on the start value there. But as we are transitioning events here, remember, we have that straw poll in the chat here, which just kind of allows for a little bit more of exposure, allows you guys to kind of, vote for your favorite gymnast, have a little bit of fun. Also, too, guys, if you want to be mentioned on the stream, all you got to do, take a picture of yourself, tag the Gymnastics Network, and I will put you on the stream. It's something that's really fun and engaging way for a lot of guys to be able to come on and say, like, hey, we partake in gymnastics. We care about the future of gymnastics. We care about creating these opportunities, and we love what you guys are doing. And that stuff touches us. And it just means the world. And I'm sure it means the world to Eddie as well. Eddie, what do you believe Army is going to get done here on the rings?
Well, I think Army's pretty solid here. I think they're going to hold their lead pretty well. I think the big difference is this meet is going to come down to vault and parallel bars, where Team Niigata is typically very strong. Like you mentioned, they're great twisters, powerful. They have great swing on parallel bars. I'm wondering where their heads are at right now. They've had some uncharacteristic falls on both floor and pommel horse. If that's going to continue throughout the meet, or if they're able to regroup and bring it back.
Test of grit and mentality here, right? It's about switching your mind. Once you kind of start down that avenue of falls, how do you circumvent and go on to something that's a little bit different? So I'm sure we've all been in that position as gymnasts before, where you either fall or you're having a bad day a little bit, and then you got to kind of switch back into reality mode, right, and shake that off. Like you had mentioned earlier, Eddie, that idea of having a really short memory, right? Like gymnasts have to have that short memory.
Absolutely. And one of the unique things about gymnastics that makes it so much different than many of the other more popular sports like basketball or football, the obvious, is just you miss a pass or you miss a basket in basketball, it's really not a big deal. You come back and you get another play, you get 20 other plays. But in gymnastics, you miss a handstand, that's a fall. You step out of bounds, it's a big deduction that could cost your team a victory. So, like we mentioned before, we have to have that selective memory. Oh man, and Team Niigata is really struggling right now. That was a bit of the dangerous side of the landing. You hate to see those low landings with knees and Achilles,
Yeah.
but even early on in the routine, he had a little trouble with that handstand, large deduction. They're definitely going to need some big routines finishing out here.
So I forgot to mention we're actually gonna have another caster come join us. In a second, he just joined the call, so we're just waiting to get his camera and his mic set up and stuff. But we're gonna have a current NCAA gymnast Michael Moran come join us and cast with us. Mike, uh, I texted Mike. I always talk about him. He has one of the best gymnastics knowledges that I've ever met, much better than mine, and I believe that I have a pretty good gymnastics knowledge. So that's gonna be fun. He should be in here very shortly. But here we're gonna be looking at. Sorry, actually I don't have the lineups up. We're gonna be looking at another arm routine right here. Nice press to planche into a nice back giant. Nice front giant, a little bit wobbly on that handstand. Tuck and pike Yamawaki. I'm looking for a little bit more amplitude in those tuck and pike Yamawakis. I think he showed a little bit too much support. There he goes. He should be looking for his dismount here. Nice double back dismount.
And there's that kind of like BEC dismounts we were talking about coming out from Army earlier. It's going to throw it over into something kind of neat. Steven Nedorosik, Brennan Pantazis, both former teammates of mine from Penn State, joining in, enjoying the broadcast. We appreciate you guys being a part of the future of men's gymnastics as well as caring about this broadcast. So we really appreciate you guys being out here and doing the best.
All right, we've got our second routine here from Team Niigata.
We just saw a fall from Niigata. How important is it for them to get a hit routine right here?
Well, this is big because rings is typically not an event that you have a fall on. You really don't count that in, but right now, another fall, another big mistake could really take them out of this. And you see he's using more of the, oh, wow, that is one of the lowest crosses I've ever seen. I don't know how he held on to that. That was amazing in itself, but he is picking up a lot of swing. He's fighting through this, and you see not a lot of strength in this routine. He's a swinger. And unfortunately not working in his favor as he's picking up more swing, but a unique dismount, a front double pike, a D element skill. He was able to get through the routine.
Wow.
Well, yeah, at least that was a hit routine. It definitely wasn't a good hit, but a hit routine nonetheless.
Yeah, that was new for me. For the people that don't know, I tore my bicep doing a cross a couple of months ago. So when I see things like that, I could feel it all the way through my body. I feel it come in through my stomach, goes up into my chest, and then dials right into my bicep. So just seeing that, oh my gosh, I hope he's okay. I really do, because I know taking a low cross like that can definitely hurt. Eddie, when you were competing, did you ever do any low crosses like that?
Oh yeah, all the time. That's how I warmed up. Low crosses. Yeah, that's a tough one, and that's one that a lot of the folks at home don't realize the stress that comes with something as simple as for a gymnast, a basic cross is a B level skill, but like you experienced, it takes a toll on the body. Biceps go. I've seen guys tear pecs multiple times,
Hmm.
and that's not even getting into the Maltese work, the inverted cross work. So your body really has to be in shape, prepared to be able to handle this high intensity gymnastics. Opening up, and this is the Maltese skill that we've seen. First Maltese we've seen of the day, back upright Maltese. Well done. To a back upright straddle planche, staying nice and steady. Really nice control. To the back upright straddle L. A little bit low with the feet on the straddle L. Press to a straddle planche. Directly to a lock arm, back giant. To a front giant. And a tucked Yamawaki, back upright L seat. Pressed handstand should be working into the dismount here. He's picking up a little bit of swing here.
Nice half and half out.
Good routine. And you see the momentum building, and the energy coming back from the Army side.
Here we go with another shout out on the Instagram. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Also, from the Instagram, we see Supreme Gymnastics is here. Shout out to you. You have helped us a lot in marketing for this meet as well as some of the other events that we've done. So we appreciate that. To me, this is like the best meet that I've ever really got to cast before. It's actually I actually have more fun at this meet than I did at the Big Ten matchup that we had before this. But let's get into the next routine here for us. Eddie, give us a play-by-play for this.
Absolutely. He's going to start with a kip to L seat, right into a kip cross, a C element. Really taking his time. Dislocates into a lock arm. And I've seen a couple of the athletes struggle a little bit with the lock arm dismounts or the lock arm swings. And the typical Yamawaki work, pike Yamawaki, tuck Yamawaki, pressing into handstand. Giant through to a full twisting double tuck.
Hit routines, man. That's all it's about right now.
Yeah, it was a solid routine. Not the biggest on difficulty, but right now, Team Niigata just has to get momentum. It's just about, like you said, hit routines.
Yeah, something I liked about that routine and something that I've liked about a lot of the Japanese routines so far has really been their flexibility in those Yamawakis. Something I've noticed about some people that swing yams in the United States, including myself when I was doing it, we had really bad. We had pretty bad flexibility. So getting all the way in and getting your face into your knees and really getting that beautiful look for that pike yam was sometimes I felt like a little missed, especially on people like me who are on the more stronger side. But as we saw from that routine, he could really get in there, and I think that's kind of a level of elegance and beauty that the Niigata team is bringing today for us. It's a little bit different. I really enjoy that.
And touching on what you said with the flexibility, one of my great mentors, John Charzik, actually rest in peace, just passed away not too long ago. But one of the things that he always preached to myself and my teammates was the flexibility, because the more flexible that you are, the more skills you can do and the less injuries that you have. So that does come into play. And also what you said with the artistry, you see the more flexible gymnasts also with the strength are able to have just a little bit more flair, a little more artistry in their gymnastics.
Yeah, well, we always talk about it, the basics that we were supposed to learn as a kid. Flexibility, a really good handstand, they all come back later. This is Kieran Regan. He has a really big swing on his dismount. There was just a nice 1.5 dismount. Landed relatively good. And Army is kind of running away with it. Right now, they have an 8-point lead on Niigata, which is something that, not going to lie, I did not predict at all. I thought this was going to be a very close matchup. But that's kind of the beauty of gymnastics, that anything can really happen. I don't think anybody predicted that Niigata was going to go. Their highest score on rings was going to be a 12-3 over 3 people. But here we are. But this is Kaisi Asada, who I actually have voted for in the straw poll to be to win the rings title today.
Yeah, beautiful Maltese there. I love that position. They got a really nice flat position. I like that head up position as well. There's that beautiful flexibility we were talking about in those yams, and then that's a really nice whip at the cross there.
That was a good one.
That's textbook, right? That's exactly how you want that to look. Your knees are all the way in your face, and then you're coming in and you're catching right in the cross. I really love that. Cast back up rise into a front upright, or a front giant. Then a nice little back giant there. Picks up a little bit of swing. Hopefully he can bail at the right time, and we can see him put this down.
Oh, that's good.
There's that swing through. Tucked half in, half out. Small hop back. But if you ask me, I think we didn't have the biggest dismount on that routine. But regardless, as far as aesthetics go, I think that's probably the most beautiful routine I've seen at the collegiate level on rings. If I'm being completely honest. The yams, I love that look of that. And also that whip it cross is now burned into my mind. I haven't seen anybody do it probably that nice since Noah Roberson.
I've seen one. He hasn't competed it yet this season, but he will. Josh Reinstein. Josh Reinstein's Penn State's is pretty good. But what do you think is going on with the Niigata dismounts? I've noticed that all their dismounts, it looks like they bail at the right time, but they have this really weird bounce off the rings at the bottom. In Kasai's and in Genta's dismount.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've noticed that too. They have huge bells, but it seems like they're getting just a little bit of slack at the top of the handstand, almost like a little bit too much power.
Yeah, it's really weird. I think that they're bailing at the right time, but I think they are just a half a second too late. I think they're bailing too much at the end, and they should bail a little bit more while they're leading forward, because they have this really weird slack.
Yeah, but here we go. Matthew Davis, the guy that I have winning the rings. Beautiful back upright straddle planche there. No movement in that. Very strong. Beautiful tuck Yamawaki. There's that pike Yamawaki. But as you can see there, look at the way Matthew has a great Yamawaki sequence, don't get me wrong. But look at the difference in flexibility that I was kind of talking about, right? You could even see Matt can't really get his whole face into his legs on that pike. But really nice giants from Matt. That's something, it's kind of like a selling point for him. He has really nice handstands on all the events that he does. Nice little back giant there. And we see the swing through, and I believe he does a tucked half in, half out. Yep. Nope, 1.5 today. And then gets the stick cannon.
Well
Stick.
Clean.
Hold on. Let me see the flag.
Get the flag going.
Yeah. Green flag action.
Beautiful work. But let's go into our last routine from Tomoki Tasukiya for Niigata.
And this needs to be a big routine to not let Army run too far away from them halfway through the competition.
Look at that overgrip he's got. See?
Yeah.
Cranking it up in there.
Hopefully we're going to see an Azarian Maltese.
Maybe?
Azarian cross. Big overgrip. Got to see some type of Azarian. Nice kip to cross right there. Came in a little bit high. Probably taking 1 or 3 off for that one.
I like...
Nice dislocate to a back giant. Nice front giant. A little bit of wavering in his handstand. There goes the rings 1-2. The Pike Yamawaki, Tuck Yamawaki into a nice back of prize. L, press handstand, and we should be looking for his dismount right here. Nice front
So
double pike with a small hop back. And that might be our highest score on rings for Nagata.
I'm not sure what they're going to do on that first skill because he did do that as Zarian, but I don't know if they're going to give him the hold on that. What do you think, Eddie?
I actually thought he came in a little bit low under the rings, and I was thinking the same thing. I'm not sure that he held it by time he had stopped. So my guess is they're going to give him the hold, but they're probably going to hit him on the level, the ring level, and the overgrip.
Well, looks like we are done with the rotation. You can see that we still have our picture of our good friend Paris up in there. But regardless, looks like the chat was mistaken. Looks like Matthew Davis taking home the gold today. Like Syke said in the chat, 9.4 execution score for Matthew on the rings. It goes to show you guys, you don't need the biggest start value in the world to have a great rings routine. I mean, just look at that, right? Matthew starts at a 14.4 but scored a 13.9, guys. That's 6/10 off, or 5/10 on the whole routine. You can hardly touch that with the stick.
That's absolutely just bonkers. Not even.
Yeah, just staying clean, hitting the routines, and it's about playing the math. It's some guys know that they may not be able to get the best execution score, so they have to throw the more difficulty, and vice versa. Some guys know that they can throw a cleaner routine, not as much difficulty, and still bring in the big score. So it's about playing the math.
6/10 though. I mean, I don't know. We just finished watching the Michigan meet, and James Reed, Cameron Bach. Cameron Bach had an absolutely perfect routine, and they found over a point off. James Reed had 8/10 off or so. 6/10 off on Matt Davis.
I give it to him. I think he did a really good job. But
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'd give it to him too, but then you have to also give it to those other guys as well.
okay, for the chat that's wondering about the judges, yes, it is the same judges on both sides. The only thing that is different is the D judge. So the difficulty judge, there's one difficulty judge assigned to Army, there's one difficulty judge assigned to Niigata, right? But the thing is, there's two judges that are doing execution. Those judges then swap between each routine. So the judging is the same across both boards for these teams, okay? Looks like after rotation 3, though, we're waiting for our event overview to update all the way, but right now it looks like Army is at a 64.25 and Niigata is actually at a 58.9. So we're just going to wait for that last little bit to come in so that we can look at the overall score, but it looks like Army is running away with this at about a 9-point lead going into rotation 4. But like I said, anything can happen, and I feel like Niigata's going to turn on the jets here, start putting down some really good sets, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen for the rest of the meet. Never count a gymnastics meet out. Anything can happen. I mean, as we just saw on Pommel Horse, there was meltdown after meltdown, and if that's not reciprocated on both times, then, the other team can creep back in. But it looks like we are...
All right, well,
And you talked about bridging the gap and something innovative, and what you guys are bringing here with this broadcast is, it raises the question of new things that can come up. What's not to say that we can't have international leagues? being able to do these competitions in different places at the same time, which I think would be awesome, would be great for the publicity of gymnastics, especially men's gymnastics, which us three we know is the toughest sport that there is, the best, most fun sport that there is, and it would be great to have that recognition be seen all across the world, have these athletes who are giving it their all, risking their lives and doing amazing things like full twisting Sukes and getting that recognition.
Yeah, that was Jackson Popple
Yeah,
for Army. But if I could just say one thing, I I'm 100% on board with what you just said, Eddie. That's actually our mission. This does open up the gates for those opportunities, right? For us to be able to say, hey, maybe we can create an international league where we have guys on here virtually, right? Because as you can see from this competition right here, it does work. And people are like, oh, well, it'll be difficult to do it. We're doing it right now, guys. This is it. This is the future, right? It needs refinement, obviously. But as of right now, I think it's pretty good. This is something that's never been done, and it's done so well. I mean, the only thing is what? We don't have multiple camera angles as of right now, but we're able to compete all across the entire world and allow any person to compete against any person. So if you guys have any like specific matchups that you want to see, because we're setting up some cool matchups here in the future, put them in the chat. Let us know. But that was the first vault. Kazumatsu double full
I think
for
it'd be a cool
Kazuki
matchup to see
Yazata.
two club gyms go up against each other, like the Cypress high schoolers versus 5280 high schoolers,
That would be pretty
or
cool.
USA Gym World from Utah going up against 5280. That'd be a cool matchup
That would be
That'd
pretty
be
cool.
for a Wednesday inter squad or something like that. Thursday right before a meet. I
That'd
think
be terrific. Well, and even some of these juniors, the only juniors who are ever going to get to see any international competition are the 14 kids on national team. How great would it be to be one of these 15-year-olds who is getting recruited to college, and you're able to compete against 15-year-olds from Russia and the best from China and the best from Kazakhstan or wherever, and this platform opens that up. I mean, what an amazing thing that can come from this.
Yeah, 100% on board with you right there because not only will kids be able to compete, well, there goes another vault. Like as we said earlier, just to kind of throw it back into the meat, I know we're having this discussion right now, but you're going to see a lot of fulls from Army, and we're going to see a lot of double fulls from Niigata. So I think this is a really good space that Niigata can kind of close the gap in here. But to throw it back into that discussion, there is so much opportunity for kids to be able to really compete at a level that they will never get to compete against, right? Like you're saying, but simultaneously, it can allow for programs to be created. So we're not only will we be creating opportunities, but now people can say, "Hey, look, we are actually able to have gymnastics meets at this location, whereas maybe before we couldn't have that, right?" So it allows for even more creations of even say club gyms because I've heard people say to me, "Oh, well, the league won't be that great because you're not reaching the youth enough." But the thing is, this will allow for the youth to be able to compete, right? I don't want to create a gym. I'm not trying to open a gym, but stuff like this will allow for more gyms to open and then giving them a place to go and compete, right? Like,
That's great.
could you imagine being 15 and being able to compete against somebody in Russia?
Oh man, that'd be awesome. And you got to look at the financial side of it too. How many kids, like myself, I wasn't able to go to all of the travel meets even within our own country just because of the cost. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we'd have 3, 4 travel meets. I grew up competing in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so we always had to go out. But a lot of times it was okay. I'm just going to go to one of the out-of-state meets or two of the out-of-state meets to save money. And now you have the opportunity to compete against whoever you want. Definitely helps on the financial side as well.
I agree. Nice double full there from Jacob Newman. I know we've kind of strayed a little bit from the gymnastics going on, but I appreciate us engaging in that discussion because these are the things that I feel like people really do need to hear. That is because these are the ideas of the future, right? And if we can have the community on board with those ideas, like what we're doing today, then we can make real change, right? You can't pass a law if nobody knows what the law is. I mean, you shouldn't be able to, but they do.
So we're going back to some full twisting vaults from Nagata, which is really strange seeing a double twist first up and then a full two fulls following it, which isn't really this format in the NCAA. Usually start with the lower difficulty routines and then go up. Seems like they are going down, which it's a very interesting choice. I wonder why they decided to go that route.
And you have to think about the strategy of what's going on here because the two fulls that we saw from Team Niigata, they were big fulls. They were big Kazumatsus, which to our gymnastics eyes looks like they could be double fulls or possibly 2.5. It makes you wonder: are they holding out? Are they playing it safe? Are they battling any injuries?
It's a good point, right? Well, you don't really know unless they tell you, especially on that side. And for some people, playing it safe and doing the single full might actually allow them to score higher, right? Nice 1.5 there from Kieran Regan. I believe he's a senior this year. Nice little 1.5. Little bit of a step up from some of the single fulls that we've been seeing. But it looks like we're going to jump in here with Genta Namimatsu for Niigata here. Like Kenan was saying, we've seen them start out with that double twisting Kazumatsu, and then they did a full, and then they did another full, and then I wonder what Genta is going to have in store for us here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like rolling the dice. He's gonna do a full, a 1.5, a double front,
Maybe a 2.5?
a half twist.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised at any one of them.
I have a feeling a double full on this one.
Really,
Yeah.
I am predicting a 1.5.
Well, we saw Genta put up a 16.0 start value on the floor exercise. So I'm assuming that he's going to have a little bit more here. Let's see what he's got in store. Nice double full. Looks like he took an extra step back there. Rather than bringing his left foot into his right foot, he actually brought his right foot into his left foot, which will count as an extra step there.
Nagata just looks just a little bit rusty. They look like they aren't as seasoned as Army. But I think we could expect that. Army has been competing quite a bit this season. So they've had a multitude of competitions to get experience and go out there and hit routines with. Where we don't actually know the history of Nagata. This could be their first real test event. So they could be
Which
just.
is the first competition. That's always a tough one. You're getting the nerves out, you're getting your body in motion, and it gets a little tricky. You got to figure things out quickly.
Yeah, the first competition is always something I dreaded because I never felt like I was ready enough. But yeah, I mean, there's really no excuse. I wish I can see some more hit routines and just hit a little bit with a higher execution from both teams. But now we're going to be looking at Miguel Aquino. He does a massive double front. We're going to see if he could land it.
Yeah, we've seen him do a butt bounce a couple of weeks. That's usually when guys land a little bit shorter and they actually hit their butt on the floor and then spring forward. Actually will count as a fall if your butt hits first, but let's see if he can get his feet to his feet today. I don't know if they're going to give that credit. That might be a fall.
Yeah, I'm giving that one a fall.
Understandable.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. I think just too much support on his bottom to give that a stand up.
Well, regardless, I really hope that Miguel can get that kind of intact for the postseason. We've seen him chuck that vault a couple of times, and it seems like he's getting more experienced every week. But let's go here. We got the last vaulter for Niigata. This is going to be Hibiki Nagasawa.
All right, so what vault are you predicting now, Eddie?
I'm going to go with the double full here. I'm calling two.
Woo! He came in with some heat. Well, that was a pretty big double full. Looked like he could even do a triple full with some
Yeah,
pretty
that was
large
nice. Looks like
steps.
he could have easily done a extra half if he wanted. I'm
Maybe.
sure that's a vault that he's training back at home and in the practice gym.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Not the way that he did that. I mean, it looks super easy for him.
Yeah, that was kind of what we said earlier, right? Like Eddie said, there's so much height, so much level to it. But looks as we're waiting for this last score to come in, we're gonna actually throw it to the Instagram. We got another beautiful picture from Brennan Pandazes and Steven Netarosik. Really enjoying the stream here. Looks like they're watching over at Steven's house across the street from my house, and it looks like they're having a blast. That's what we love to see. Just waiting for our event overview to update here, and we will shoot that over right now. Looks like Niigata actually edged out Army on the vault. So that's what we wanted to see. I was expecting Niigata to make a little bit more of a gap on Army on that event. But regardless, I feel like they're building momentum so that they can go up into the next event ready to swing some amazing P-bars. Like Eddie said earlier, this Niigata team is talented on the parallel bars. Whereas Army, they're talented, but the problem is they don't have a lot of start, right? So Army's going to hit regardless because they don't have a lot of start, but on the side of Niigata, they're going to have a little bit more difficulty, so we're going to have to make sure that they hit. Otherwise, they're going to fall behind. Looks like we're getting the straw poll up into the chat here as we're getting ready. But, Eddie, what was kind of your experience and I would say your mentality when approaching the P-bars?
Parallel bars for me was all about attacking and a little bit of a mental game with the hands. What a lot of people don't know, so many gyms will put different things on their hands, like honey, Caro, syrup, sugar water. I had one of my roommates, Justin Lowry, used to always put Gatorade on his hands, and the coach would always get on him because our parallel bars started looking like rainbows. But for a lot of guys, we actually struggled in the early part of our senior year with hanging on to the bar. And for me, I got to the point where I said, okay, I'm not going to prep the bars. Wherever the bars are at, that's where I'm going to go. And it's just in my head. I'm just going to hang on. So I went with that mentality and just attacking, and it really worked for me. So this is one of those events where you just got to swing big and stay tight, and it'll all come together.
I like that. Swing big and stay tight. Let's see if Patrick Armstrong from Army is going to be swinging big and staying tight. I kind of wish I would have had that advice when I was a gymnast. My P-bars was not good, to say the least.
Yeah, P-bars is a lot of core strength. I'd actually think that you'd be pretty good at P-bar just because of
No.
rings takes a lot of core strength. But.
I didn't have a good enough handstand. I was really good. Peach work, really good.
Peach.
Yeah, peach
You had
is
the peach hand,
peach hand. Yeah, I could do peach hand.
the lock arm.
Yep.
No way. All right, then why'd you leave P-bars? If you could do a peach to handstand.
I mean, I don't really want to get into the real story of why I don't do P-bars anymore, but
Oh.
it
Yeah,
it wasn't.
tell me.
Yeah. So, but it's all good.
Yeah, 9 points definitely is not impossible, especially knowing the capabilities of these teams. Especially just Japan, just being very good on the final two events. P-bars and high bar has been where they shine as a country.
Absolutely. And I think here we might be able to see a little bit of a different artistic approach to the parallel bars that we don't normally get to see, at least on the side of the NCAA. A lot of times, at least I feel like, we see a lot of cookie cutter type routines for parallel bars and not a whole lot of expression. But because it is one of those events where I feel like you really can express yourself. So let's get in here. This is Tomoki Tsukiyaka for Niigata here.
And he opens up with that peach element you talked about. into a Moy. Looks like he's just muscling just a little bit, just a hair tight into a Tapel and a Peach to support B element.
So it looks like he's going to do a pretty short routine here. It looks like he's probably going to do his dismount. Nice. Very short, very clean. Yeah, I can definitely see that strength that he was using on the parallel bars, and he compromised his form slightly in all of his moys because of it. But it was a really good routine. It was a really good lead-off routine. That's what they're going to need to, if they want to come back from a 9-point deficit.
Yeah, I agree. They need hit routines, and at this point, I hate to see it, but I feel like Army's going to have to mess up in order for Niigata to kind of come back in. But here's the thing. That is entirely possible.
Yeah,
And
we've seen it happen, actually.
we've seen major meltdowns, especially on parallel bars and high bar. That's what I love about men's gymnastics, is that we get to end on these events, especially on this platform. Remember, we're doing head-to-head matchups, which haven't really existed too much in the men's gymnastics world because we've had to swap events, right? One team's on parallel bars, the other team's on high bar. It's a little bit different now because of this new technology with Vertius. We're, like we said, creating opportunities, and this is an opportunity to be able to compete head-to-head, which is amazing. I feel like as a commentator and as a viewer, this is much better, in my personal opinion. I think it's much more fun. I feel like it's a lot more engaging. You can actually compare routines rather than, being like, well, this guy's on floor and this guy's on pommel horse. But comparing routines here, Patrick Armstrong, 12.65. And then the first routine with Tomoki from Niigata scored a 12. Looks like they had the same exact difficulty, but Patrick about 6/10 higher. So let's see what Zachary Mitchell for Army is going to be doing on the parallel bars here. Army likes to keep their routines a little bit shorter, just like Niigata as well. But something about Army, they have really good handstands, but they have to stay on the P-bars, and they have to hit these skills. You see that Healy, really strong start for him. Diamidov into a nice giant. Looks like a front uprise there. Nice little pirouette. Keep it moving. I really like the routine construction, very flowy. There's not a lot of stopping in this routine. The only place he's stopped so far is in that L. Ooh, a little bit of an arm bend. You don't want to bend your arms in that handstand, but cranking up for a dismount. There's that double pike, big hop back. It's probably going to be about 5/10, and then probably another 10th for the other minor hop. So good routine, but got to get those landings on that dismount, kicking it back over in Niigata.
Yeah, for Nagata, we're going to be looking at Rusi Hashi. So we're going to be able to see what they're able to do. I mean, they do have a 9-point deficit with around without 6/10 down on the first routine. So they're really gonna need a meltdown from Army and then some really truly phenomenal sets. Here he goes. Kip to handstand to start his routine.
Oh, struggling on the Peach.
Peach to handstand, probably didn't get credit, and a back giant where again he probably wouldn't get credit on that one as well either.
A lot of Peach to supports.
Yeah.
Clearly a big emphasis in the Nagata gym about the Peach.
Double pike. Oh
Double
my
pike to his
gosh.
dome piece. Yeah, just didn't let that double pike swing up and tried to push off of it the way that you would push off a double back. And yeah, that's how it's going to turn out if you do that. If you try to let go of the bars early and push off. For double pike, you want to try to swing your legs through and almost let your body just follow your feet. And
Yeah.
it's unfortunate to see all these falls from Nagata.
It is. But you got to remember, Army is counting this score for their NCAA qualifications as well, right? So this meet does matter a lot to Army. It's not just an inter squad for them. It's a real meet, right? They're coming out here. They're given that opportunity in order to do some great stuff. At Tim's.
Yeah, that's a good point because this could very much determine placement in the NCAA championships or not.
Yeah, exactly. So, shout out to my FGL in the chat. Appreciate the love and support from you guys, as well as Matthew and it's like Caesar.
We actually haven't even done any donations, so we do want to remind you guys that we do have those donation links down below, and also the Venmo codes up there. I know we haven't really talked about it because this is really an NCAA meet, but I do want to give that opportunity to you guys if you guys do feel like you guys want to support financially. We do have the Venmo code and the link in the bio. And now the Venmo code is up at all times, actually. But here we go.
Notice
We're
we
now looking
lost
at
the sound on this Army side, but we're
Jackson
just got it back.
Popple.
Beautiful Healy to start off. Really confident swinging so far from Army. Saw that in both that Diamondov and that Stutz. A little bit of a walk on that pirouette there. Gets that up into a handstand. Still some good handstand work so far. Double back. There's that. Oh, no.
Wow. That was such a clean routine, too. Definitely the best swing of the day up into the dismount.
Well, remember, that's what we said earlier when I was like, remember Cannon. I said, they're going to be doing B dismounts. Niigata, I don't think they're going to be doing B dismounts. I assumed they were going to be doing Ds, right? But if you're going to do Bs, you got to land them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to land them.
Yeah, that is it's unacceptable to see that fall on that double tuck on parallel bars. I talk about it all the time. I think the hardest event to get a D dismount on is probably going to be rings and floor, where P bars and high bar are a little bit easier to get the D dismounts on. So if you are going to do a C dismount on parallel bars, you really want to be rocking it.
Yeah.
Or a C dismount on high bar, you really want to be rocking that dismount.
I mean, I almost feel like we could get into that later, but let's go. Ibuki Kamiya, Katakami, excuse me. Eddie, let's go. Why don't you do the play-by-play for us here?
All right, he's going to open up with a nice peach, probably the cleanest one, and good save of the Giant. He had a little slip of the hand, but he was able to bring it back. A little out of rhythm on the Moy. And he's just a hair off on everything, just a little bit behind. You saw him sit down on the Tipel. Probably won't get credit for that and take a large deduction. To the peach support that we've seen from most of the athletes do. And this was a key routine because this was a routine that they could have gained some ground on, and they are not going to with that dismount.
Yeah.
The nice thing about this format is that it's very much like a tennis format. We can bounce back and forth and compare, like you said, one routine right to the other and mirror it, so you know about where you stand and actually can allow the teams to use more strategy when seeing what another team is doing. You might conserve a skill, you might throw a bigger skill knowing you need more difficulty, but unfortunate to see that mistake there, because that would have been a really nice routine had he had stayed on his feet and put together a nice Tipel.
Yeah, they're just a little sloppy. Just a little bit like rusty. Syke mentioned in the chat that this is pretty early in the season for them, so they probably aren't taking this too harsh, but it is a little disappointing in my eyes to going out to a competition and falling this frequently and looking just this rusty. But anyway, here we have Matt Martin of Army. Matt Martin does some really big skills, so I'm really excited to watch this routine and share it with you guys. Here he starts it off. Nice moy to the middle. And he's going to do that front 1.25 right here. Nice, done elegantly. Nice pirouette. He's having a little bit of difficulty in his handstand, just staying straight. And he's going to do his pizza support and most likely a dismount right here. Here comes big double front. And a stuck landing.
Flag out.
Oh, there goes a flag.
We got to get you some flags, Eddie.
Yeah, we got to work on that part.
Yeah, I mentioned in the chat one single time. I said it out loud. and I was like, "Hey, does anybody want any flags?" I was like, "We have like 50 of them in the studio." I was like, "Hey, I live right next to the UPS store." I was like, "I'll go to the UPS store, ship them out for free if anybody wants any," and not a single person asked.
Oh, no takers. No takers.
Yeah, so you want some flags, man? I got a really good UPS code, so I'll ship out a ton. That's a little signed by me and Isaac. That'd be a pretty cool
Well, you guys have
giveaway
been
if
getting
anybody.
some good chats there, and I heard you say Sykes' name. I just want to give a little shout out to Sykes. Sykes was a former teammate of mine, teammate and roommate. We go way back, so
Oh wow.
glad to see Sykes chiming in and some people that we know chiming in.
Wow, that is so interesting. I didn't. Psych is always in the chat. He's such a really good help to us and does a really good job getting our name out. Just using his platform and just really helping out in the chat. So
But you saw that opening there from Hibiki. Really unorthodox opening. Don't see a lot of people do that. That kind of like cast up into an L hold and then press through. And really clean lines on these handstands as well. There's that kind of flexibility we were talking about earlier. You saw just in that front uprise, his face is all the way into his legs.
Yeah, something so simple, but making it look so good. Look how deep he was on that double pike. I mean, that was incredible. Knees to the face. Very
that
nice.
now
He
that
loves
was
it.
those are the routines that they needed to do from the start.
Absolutely. And they go to show they have the potential to do that. But here we go. Another shout out from Tess McCracken, Steven Netarosic, and Brennan Pantazis. Thanks, guys, for the support and the love. We're loving all of the Penn State support. We appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the future of gymnastics. And to Supreme Gymnastics, yeah, we can send you a flag.
Yeah.
We'll get you a flag.
Just DM me on Instagram, and the UPS store closed at 9, but I'll
That's
go
awesome.
tomorrow morning.
Yeah, first thing in the morning. Put a little handwritten
Yeah,
note.
Jackson Popple got 3/10 off on his routine with a fall, or 1.3 off on his routine with a fall. Yeah, it is. That's suspect.
Really, I'm not going to say that's suspect. I watched that routine. He only starts at a 13.7, Cannon. But on top of that, he
3/10.
did it perfectly. Did you? I didn't see any deduction in that. What do you think, Eddie?
Yeah, I didn't think there was a lot of deduction. I did think 3/10 was a little bit of a stretch. I thought there was. I thought there was a little more deduction. Not to say that it was a bad routine. It definitely was beautiful up until the sit down and the landing. But the judges are running out of ink right now.
My co-commentators are throwing me under the bus
Yeah,
here.
I mean, it was a clean routine, but I'm just being honest. I mean, if somebody's getting overscored, if it was Penn State, anybody, I'm calling out the judges.
Here we go with Jacob Newman. So far, very clean set. Like we said, Army has those great handstands. He needs to hit this routine. Army's only counted one fall so far, and like Cannon and Eddie were saying, it was overscored. So, nice press up into that handstand. You can see a dismount here. Double back again. And that's how you should be doing C dismounts. Nice stick. You should be sticking a C dismount every single time. So, props out to our friend Jacob Newman over at Army. And as we roll into our last routine for Genta Namimatsu for Niigata, I'm expecting some big P bars here. This is going to be the last guy up, and we've seen significant improvements as we've gone down the lineup. Unfortunately, we haven't seen hit sets, but in terms of difficulty and cleanliness, we've definitely seen some improvements over on the Niigata side. So let's see what else we've got in store for us here with the Genta.
All right. One of the skills we haven't seen is the giant double back and bell work to the upper arms.
Nice Healy, a little bit bent
I
arms.
don't think we're going to see it here. A peach handstand, a little bit of bent arms to a good, clean, giant handstand. Really nice, tall handstand.
Ooh, that was a nice deal.
Super.
That felt good.
Dion
Nice.
1 1/4.
With the outside studs.
Oh, Just not enough swing to get up. That was such a nice routine. It's unfortunate that he's going to have that error. Stutz to handstand,
Thank you.
and he's just checking all the handstands. Double pike, small hop.
They have really good flexibility on those double pikes. They get into them really, really nicely.
Oh, you see that little dance move he did?
No, I actually looked
You
away.
didn't
for
see
a
that?
second.
That was pretty cool, man. Showing a little bit of that flair out there. But it looks like most of our votes came out for Genta. And I believe we're waiting on Genta's score, but he needs to score above a 12.9 to beat out his teammate, Hibiki. So we'll see if he can make that through. But Zane Petrus in the chat saying that basically agreeing with Cannon and asking if the judges would be available, asking for a friend. I don't know. We could talk to Verdius for you. Maybe you guys get in contact or something. But looks like we're gonna get our event overview up, and we're still waiting on that. There's that score for Genta. Looks like an 11.85.
Yeah, I can't do it with the Jackson Popple score. I have 3/10 off on the jump. He bent his arms on the peach.
I don't know what to tell you.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Maybe they put it in wrong. Maybe it's supposed to be maybe it's supposed to be an 11.35. Would you buy that?
I'd have to watch the routine. I'm looking at an old routine, but I just know that that's not really. I'm only calling what I see, and I just know that that's not a problem that people fix easily. Not over the course of one weekend of bending their arms in the peach. Anyway, yeah, Zane, we got to get you those judges too. We got to get them on the Penn State side going into NCAA's.
Yeah, that's what I want. Honestly, though, would it save them?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. Michigan and OU and Stanford are just.
It's just Michigan and OU right now are just so. Michigan, OU, and Stanford are just. They're so crazy. Obviously, I want Penn State to win. Like they're my
Who do you
team,
guys
but
think is going to take it this year? Who's taking the Big Ten title? Who's taking the NCAA title?
Oh, that was easy.
oh yeah, that's easy.
Michigan is gonna take the Big Ten title, and
It's gonna be a
Stanford.
battle. No, bro, it's gonna be a battle
No,
between.
it's not.
Yes, it is. It's gonna be a battle. Mark my words.
I don't.
Michigan, Stanford. It's gonna be a battle. NCAA's.
It's going to be a fun one to watch, that's for sure.
All right, NCAA's. I think that's gonna be a battle. At Big Tens, nobody's touching Michigan this year.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit too far ahead. I honestly, after the Ohio meet today, I was like, well, maybe they'll be able to kind of get in there, but
Oh, so they only need a 63.9 to score above their season high. And that's a crazy thing considering all the falls that they actually had on the first couple events. And even on parallel bars as well.
a 63.9 on high bar for Army. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's definitely going to be a little bit harder.
A 12.8 average?
That's hard, Kenan. In this judging right now, that's a pretty tough position to be in. But nice Yamawaki to get started here. Looks like he comes over the bar, does a pirouette. Nice stalder work, good handstand work from Patrick Armstrong. Nice little blind change there. Coming right in. Nice endo. A little bit late, though. Really late on that pirouette. Want to be much earlier than that. Cranking it around for this dismount. Half in, half out. What everybody does. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there goes the 63.9.
Almost gave it away.
Yeah. Stayed on his feet, though. But probably just lost just as much. But there's something to say about mentality when you don't just fall onto your butt and you keep it, you keep it walking, stay on your feet, right?
Got to appreciate the fight.
Yeah. It fires up your teammates too, because it's like we care. I want to stay on my feet. I'm not just falling on my own sword. And I'm going out there and attacking, like you had mentioned earlier. Kind of that mentality you had on P bars, right? About just going out and attacking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hopefully, we'll see some big releases here. Any guess from you guys what we might see release-wise? Any Kovacs, Tkachevs,
Probably,
Jaegers?
probably just a basic straddle to Gachev.
I'm expecting some Yams and a little bit of some Tkachev work, maybe. But I'm expecting a little bit more in bar. But there's that straddle Tkachev, like Cannon was talking about. A little bit of bent arms over the top. Nice little one arm there. A lot of B work here. That's kind of what the name of the game is on high bar right now. Weiler, good Weiler there. Good handstand position coming out of it. Full spin, a little bit late on that as well, but going to keep it going. Nice pirouette. I really liked how he got into that handstand, cranks it around for the dismount, laid out half in, half out, and gets the stick. That's what
Nice.
Niigata needed.
Very smooth swing. Did we get the flag out for that one?
Cannon.
Flag is up.
Cannon's lacking.
Sorry, somebody actually DM'd me asking for a flag, and I responded instantly with yes, I will ship out the flag. So if you guys want a flag, yeah, we probably got like 25 here.
No, we have 50. Yeah.
Oh, you counted it?
Yeah, I counted.
Oh, so we have 50 flags. So if anybody wants a flag, maybe we'll even send out 2 depending on how many we get. One of me and Isaac signed and one unsigned.
There you go.
So-
Well, I need one, so
Oh, you're going to get one.
You'll get one. Don't worry. I'll ship it out tomorrow. I got nothing to do tomorrow. I finished all my exams today. Had 3 exams in the past 2 days.
You think you got nothing to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're out of your mind if you think you don't have anything to do tomorrow.
Just door dashing.
Yeah, door dashing and prepping shows with me. All right, here we go. Zachary Mitchell on the high bar. Like Sice Keezer had said, they need to score a 63.9, I believe, in order to beat their highest score of the season. And I said, I don't see that really happening, but you never really know. I think what did Cannon say? That's about a 12.9 average, right? 12.8 average. Maybe. But there's a vault catch to get started off. Nice little sequence here. We see a couple of other guys in the NCAA do that. You see Alex Frack do that as well. And I believe Andres Perez used to do that as well. So nice little German giant sequence there. Goes into the Eagle Grip Giants. Looks like he's going to do an endo in the Eagle Grip position, but gets really low kind of on the push out on that. Cranking it around for the dismount. Can he get a stick? Oh my gosh, that is another messed up dismount for Army.
and you see him looking at his hand. It's almost as he slipped. Looked like he pilled, and luckily enough was able to get that to his feet.
Yeah, just a little juiced up on this dismount. Very unconventional. Hey, thanks for saying I finished my exams. Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, I just had a supply chain exam, a Spanish exam, and then a finance exam, actually.
Are you going to deliver this next routine in Spanish for us?
No, I actually know no Spanish. None. Let's not get into it, actually. But
Looks like we got a donation in from Blake Wilson. Thank you, Blake, for that donation. But as we get into the next routine here, Eddie, let's get you rolling here. Let's hear some of that high bar experience. I'd love to hear some of your commentary.
All right, let's get it. I love high bar. This is the most high-flying event. This is where it separates the men from the boys. Who can fly through the fear? It's going to start in a mixed grip. Giants into a full spin on one arm. C element. He's going to get his long hang requirement for that.
oh, that is high.
Unique. You don't see those too often these days. One arm giant. I actually almost thought that was going to be a Gaylord too.
So did I.
Kind of scared me there for a second. Working into a jam to Eagle Grip Giants. Should be setting up for the dismount here. Going to Chinese tap into a full twisting double out. A little bit of pike. Had to take a big hop on a landing, but a good hit routine.
Yeah, that was a really good routine. That the Ginger really scared me. You normally don't see people do Gingers from giants.
No,
Yeah,
It's
right.
normally
you see
connected
it
from
from
something.
Takacha for a Yamawaki, but yeah, that threw me off coming
Yeah.
from a giant. It was big though.
It was big. I honestly, for a second, I was like, that was a short routine, and then he re-grabbed the bar. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. But that was a good routine. That was a routine that they needed at the start of the meet. But
Yeah. It looked like Niigata really started getting their steam together as the events went on. We only saw them get better. Floor was all right. Pommel horse was pretty rough. Rings was okay. Vault was okay, but then we started seeing them kind of trend upwards, towards the end of P-bars and now into this event. So they're on the up and up. I think they're starting to get comfortable. I'm sure a lot of these guys have kind of got that first routine jitter out of the way, and they're moving forward into being comfortable and relaxing, enjoying the competition for what it is. Yeah, really nice high bar work from Niigata so far. I agree. I think they've done some really, really, really great stuff. But let's go Calvin Kingshill for Army here. Doesn't look like they're going to beat their season high, but they want to come out of here and turn around after 2 missed dismounts. Vault catch to start off right up into an endo up. Switches the hands. Nice little pirouette there. Remember, name of the game for these teams on high bar are B elements. See that nice little stalder there. Gets in one more stalder, pirouette, or blind change, excuse me. But keeping it simple, keeping it clean. That's kind of the name of the game for Army. Jam gets up into the Eagle Grip Giants, hops right back over. Going to see probably a pirouette and a dismount here.
Yeah, this is a really good routine. I don't think they're gonna hit that 69 or 63.9 mark. There goes a tucked half and half out, stuck cold.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
But they've had a really good meet. They had those falls on the first 2 events, but from this point on, Army's been really rocking at this meet.
Yeah, they've
Proud
got a
to see
good hit
them.
percentage going on.
Looks like we're already looking at our next routine right now. This is from Ibuki Katakami.
Believe we saw him on parallel bars as well. He had a little bit of a rougher parallel bars routine, so let's see if he can turn it around here.
Nice Yamawaki over the
Thank
bar.
you for the new follow.
Talk half. That's the first time we've seen that this evening. To a nice clean stalder. He's got a very long swing. Very easy and smooth. Jam to handstand, showing off the shoulder flexibility with an endo from an L grip. And this is a big routine. Let's see if he can bring it home.
Oh, a little far.
So see the layout a little bit long, but well done.
Yeah, that was a really good routine. Yeah, commentating the Gym Act schools, we did do ASU because they were on Vertius. If they can get some meets on Vertius, I would 100% be down to cast them. Just right now it hasn't worked out, but if you have some connections there, I'm sure we can get to cast in some of those Gym Act schools. That'd be nice.
Actually, the GymX schools don't want to be associated with Vertius as far as I understand. And Vertius being our partner, if they're not on the Vertius platform, we're probably not going to be able to cast them, just kind of the way that they go. I've seen some of the GymAct casts. They're good. I like their hosts over there. They do some cool stuff. If they gave us the opportunity and said, hey, we want to try it out, we'd love to come out and cast for you guys. I feel like we can bring Ken and I can bring a pretty fun show. So, I'd be down with it.
Yeah.
ASU was really fun. You remember that ASU meet we did?
Yeah.
That was one of the most fun meets we ever had. Remember those sticks
The 2
on
and a
vault?
halves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you have any contacts and they're willing to communicate with Vertius and let us cast them, DM the Gymnastics Network Instagram page and we could definitely look into that.
Yeah, but let's get cracking here. This is Adam This is Adam for Army. Nice talk there, or excuse me, jam. Comes up. Full spin. And a pirouette. Cranks it around really hard for the double layout. Doesn't get the stick, though. Something we had talked about earlier, and I remember I didn't say it at the time, but Cannon was saying something about C dismounts on high bar. Like, you better stick them all. Here's the thing about doing a C dismount on high bar. A double layout, to me, is harder than a half in, half out.
Yeah, it is. So I'm very confused why he's doing it. He should probably switch to a tucked half and half out. Or the layout. The double layout really doesn't make sense on high bar. It makes sense on rings, not on high bar.
I always felt like the half and half outs was always easier to spot the landing earlier than just doing a double layout.
Yeah, you see the ground the whole time, a half in, half out, right? Where when you're doing a double layout, it's like you gotta really arch and see the ground on that last part.
Yeah, you see the ground at the very end.
Yeah. But here we go. Our next guy up for Niigata. There's that big Kovacs element. Finally seeing a little bit more difficulty. Looks like he's going to crank it around again on a Coleman.
That's it.
Oh.
Beautiful, keeping it cranking. That's kind of what we had mentioned earlier. You know, where we're going to see a little bit more difficulty, and it looks like we are. That's that full spin on one hand that Eddie was talking about earlier. It's called Zuliman. Good skill. Nice little pirouette there. And let's see if he can get a stuck dismount and take home the title for the day. Doesn't look like the stick, but still amazing routine from Yukito there.
That should be the bar champion of the evening right there.
I agree. The thing I love about that was when he did his Kovacs and his Coleman sequence, it didn't look muscled. It looked very elegant. What did you think, Eddie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He had just a nice smooth swing. It just came so natural. Like he didn't even really have to work so hard for it. I love that he actually put the Kovacs first and then did the full twist in Kovacs. It's almost like a strategy of being able to warm up the bigger skill before even throwing it.
I mean, it's a pretty good balance check. The way I'd personally do it the opposite way. I'd rather look at the bar on the first release. But I know a lot of people who have trouble rotating their second Kovacs element around. And to get that, the rotation is a little bit easier when just doing a single flip without the twisting. So I see why he did it that way. Kovac as a check and then Coleman to send.
Yeah. But here we go. The last routine for Army on the high bar. Looks like Niigata's running away with this high bar rotation right now. They're 2 points and 1/10 up on Army. So Jackson needs to put down a good routine here. Army has struggled a little bit more than what they normally do on the high bar. So let's see if he can finish out this meet strong for his team. I'm not sure he meant to do a pirouette there. Usually he does a Yamawaki, but there's that beautiful Ginger, something we saw earlier from Ibuki as well on the Niigata side. But full spin, but oh my gosh. Misses his hand
On a cross.
on a quas. I had never seen that.
It looked off from the beginning. It was almost like he started to do kind of like a Kovacs tap into it. It was just the swing just looked off.
Looked like he kind of pulled the bar like this. Like he pulled the bar down, like you're saying, for a Kovacs rather than doing a quast. So
Glad to see he's safe, though. That was a little bit of a nasty fall.
yeah, I thought he was gonna hit the upright, if I'm being honest. So hopefully he can get back up there and finish it. Looks like Army kind of falling apart here on this last event. Don't know if it's going to be enough for Niigata to be able to get back in and take the meet, but like we said, Army needed to come out here and close, but it kind of looks like they almost opened the door here for Niigata. So nice little Weiler full spin into a Weiler pirouette. Kind of late on those angles. Got to get up more to a handstand. Cranks it around for this dismount. Another double layout and gets the stick.
I mean,
so
we're going to see if he gets 3/10 off on this one.
I don't, but
Or 1.3.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, 1.3 off.
Yeah, I don't see that.
You had to call the judges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the last routine for Niigata here. This is going to be Genta Namimatsu for Niigata here. I think so far from what we've seen on the side of Niigata, there's been some pretty good high bar. I've actually enjoyed watching their high bar probably more than all the other events. It looks like Jackson Popo is scoring the 9.55. So let's see if our man here, Genta, can put down a great routine. So far, so good.
Everything comes full circle.
Nice little talk half there. Looks like we're going for another Kovac element. Coleman to start it off, but misses his left hand.
Yeah, he couldn't get his other hand to the bar in time, which is the main challenge of the Coleman. And it's going to be interesting to see if he repeats that. One of the element groups of high bar is a release element, so he's going to need to catch a release before he decides to get off the bar, or suffer the consequences of not having the element group, which is 5/10. And no skill.
Maybe he'll just go up there and do it to Kachev. Maybe he'll repeat it for practice sake. We're going to have to see. I'm hoping he repeats
He's
it.
going to repeat it. His hand was at the bar. It just wasn't there.
Is that Stalder?
Never mind. He's not repeating it.
Yeah, he looks like he's just going to move on from it.
He's probably not very confident in it, and just knowing that if he's not going to repeat it in his practice gym.
Looked like he got a little rattled, if I'm being honest. Looked like he kind of whipped his head back when he landed. But let's see if he can get this dismount at least. Laid out half and half out. Doesn't quite get the stick. Small little step there. I call that the Leroy step. Leroy was my mentor when I was on the team, Leroy. And he would always land his ring dismounts and do that same exact step. Like, you don't need to move your foot there, but sometimes guys feel like they do and they just take that little 1/10 step. So, little throwback there. But good stuff out from Niigata. I feel like they really started to shine there on the high bar. Really, really, really clean stuff. And I really enjoyed their flexibility as well. And it looks like we're just going to wait on Genta's score, but I don't see him beating out his teammate. Yukido.
12-3-5.
So
to take the high bar title to that.
Yeah.
That is extreme. That's very interesting to see that a 12-3-5 is going to take the high bar title.
Really? I don't think so.
I think it's just due to a lot of falls, really. I don't think
No.
anything had to do with it, just falls.
No. I think the reason you feel that way, honestly, Kenan, is because we watched Michigan and Ohio State earlier. From what I know about Army and from a few of these other teams, a 55 for Army is not where they wanted to be at all. But, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say about that, but it seems like Army had a great meet and then just fell apart on high bar there. But Niigata, on the other hand, they started to really come into their own, especially towards the end there on high bar, putting up a 59.4 on the high bar for Niigata and a 55.55 for Army. Now, just while we have people here, this is a momentous and a monstrous event, guys. This was the first time in history that we have had a virtual gymnastics meet internationally. Wrap your mind around that. We're making the future here, and we're very happy that you guys can be a part of that. And we have many other things in the works. We're working on giving people the opportunity to be able to compete no matter where they are in the world. And that means any matchup in the world, right? So if you guys have matchups that you want to see, throw them in the chat. You know, it's a good way that we can start to see what the fans want to know or what the fans want to see, right? Gives us that opportunity so that we can make those matchups happen. But like we said, this day was about creating opportunities, guys. This is what it was about. We created opportunities. There was an opportunity for Eddie to come on and cast. There was an opportunity for me to come on and cast. Cannon as well. On top of that, we were able to give Army the opportunity to get another NCAA meet under their belt, while at the same time giving Niigata an international meet. Whereas some of these guys, even I know most of the guys on Army, these people would have never got an international meet if it wasn't for this platform at this time. So Vertius is doing some amazing things, and I'm really excited to see where we can go for the future. Kind of the last thing that we wanted to mention is everything that we do here is community funded. So your support in donations and being here means the absolute world. So like we've mentioned before, we have that Venmo link there in that QR code. You just have to take a picture of it in your Venmo, and it'll send you over to our page. But there's also another link in the description to where you can donate. And those donates mean an absolute world to us. So thank you very much. And
I wanted to mention really quickly, along those lines, if we are starting to get more and more viewers and are going to continue to pick up more steam. So if you guys do have a small business out there and would want to maybe get a sponsorship on the stream, you could also DM the Instagram or hit the link or go to our Instagram and use the email link in the bio to get an open conversation about that, and we can work out some stuff.
yeah, do a junior world championships. Now that would be a cool idea.
That'd
The-
be awesome.
The way I kind of see that working is we'd probably have to set up a couple of preliminary tournaments leading into it, and then take maybe the top couple of guys from each one of those tournaments, and then
Okay.
putting them all kind of like into one big Vertius session. We could plan that out. That would be a really cool thing. What do you think about that, Ken? I feel like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think tournaments are the way to go. I think tournaments are just more exciting, and
They are. And two,
that's
it'll
what
allow
wrestling does.
it'll allow us also to kind of cut down on time, because one of the things I don't like about gymnastics meets very much is that they're very long. They can't, you watch a girls meet. The one thing I love about women's gymnastics is that it's a little bit shorter, actually. There's only 4 events, and they kind of cook through it. And I feel like that's a little bit more on the marketable side for it. So as we're looking forward, we're always trying to make these quick and efficient. But I'd like to say to Eddie, thank you so much for being here today. It was really fun casting with you. It was a fun meet, and I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, I absolutely did. It was great, and I appreciate the opportunity working with you guys. Hope to work with you guys more in the future. It was great to experience this first time ever. Something pretty special what you guys are doing, what everybody's doing, and putting together the first international competition via the web. I mean, never thought that I would say that even 365 days ago. So excited to be a part of it and be part of history here.
Well, thank you for being here. It is pretty cool, Maybe in a couple of months we can look back on this day and think, hey, remember when we did that first meet? Now look at it, right?
Yeah.
So that's that's been the sentiment the whole time for us, especially. Like, everything's evolving so quickly, and you just got to keep your face to the grindstone. And we're actually going to have another meet on Friday with Air Force, so make sure you guys tune in for that. But I want to thank all the fans for being here. I want to thank all of the people that sent in all of those pictures. It was really, really, really nice of you guys. It was pretty cool, I enjoyed the engagement today, and thanks to all the big Instagram pages for being here, guys. I saw Flip Fly Tumble in here, as well as Supreme Gymnastics getting interactive as well. And to the chat about the Gymac stuff, Gymac wants us to cast. I mean, they have to come and talk to us. But yeah, they need to come to talk to us and Vertius, because if Vertius isn't okay with it, then we're probably not going to be, okay with it either. We would like more meets to be on the Vertius platform, and if Gymac wants to move to the Vertius platform, then that's great. But until that, we're probably not going to have as many Gymac meets. But anyway, talking finally, I had so much fun today. I feel like I'm wrapping up a children's cartoon right now with the way I'm talking, but thanks so much, Eddie, for being here. It really does mean the world tonight, and
Thank you.
I can't wait for the future. Oh, so if you want, shout out what you do, your Instagram, where people can find you, as well as your other businesses, if you would like.
Yes, yeah, I actually got started with my own endeavor. I have my own gym now, which never, like I was telling you before, never thought that would happen. But I own and operate Grace Gymnastics right here in Katy, Texas. So you can check out our Instagram page at Grace Gymnastics Texas. You can check out my own personal page at Eddie Umphrey. That's Umphrey with a U, not an H. Um, yeah, just excited to be a part of some pretty big, unique, new things. So yeah, check me out. Give me a shout out. Give me a DM if you're in Katy, Texas. Come on through, and we'll have you come in.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Shout out Grace Gymnastics, and thank you Eddie Umphrey for coming on. So definitely go check out Grace Gymnastics over there in Texas. I know people think Cypress is the only gym out there, but definitely go check him out. He's an extremely knowledgeable guy, and we were all able to see that on full display today. So clearly he's going to be doing something good with this program, and definitely check out his social media because that helps overall.
Yeah. Looks like we actually had two more things on the Instagram. I'm just going to throw them up just because it was kind of fun. Looks like they're not loading, so I'm going to do one thing real quick, try to get that fixed, and I would really like to be able to put these up. See if we can get it to work here.
Well, can anyone see me in the camera? That's what the photo is.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw. There.
Yeah, Eddie. I don't know if you know meme culture, but that's like the new thing now.
I'm getting into it. I'm a little older than I look, so I'm trying to get back in touch with the young folks. I coach kids now, so I got to stay up with everything.
Yeah, you go up to them, you like make a little like, I don't even know what this is, at your vein, and then just bite your lip. And
It's
look
ice
up.
in the veins.
Yeah.
Ice in the vein.
That's what it is.
You'll see when the photo comes up. It's pretty funny.
Here, hold on. I'm adding it to the story here so that we can all view it. Yeah, let's see if I can get it to come up. And of course, when you want technology to work, it never does. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna reload this and be right back on it. Come on, baby, work for me. Sometimes the beauty of technology is that you can do anything that you want, but sometimes the technology doesn't want to do anything that you want. There it goes.
Christian Marsh. Shout out Christian Marsh.
William and Mary, appreciate the love, guys. Thanks for being here today. Ice in the veins. Yeah, William and Mary. William and Mary is a jam-packed team, and they're always really fun when we get the chance to cast them. I do enjoy them. Looks like we got one more in here as well from... Here we go. One more. There we go. There's our next round of guys as well.
Well, I'll say their name real quick. Let me just go on the Instagram.
This is Tristan.
Tristan.
Man.
Tristan McDermott.
I can't say that.
Tristan McDermott.
I've been doing too much casting today. But yeah, it looks like they're having a blast watching the meet. Appreciate the love, guys. Man, that looks fun. When we've casted so much, we haven't really got the opportunity to even watch our own stuff. I mean, we go back and watch it, but we watch it for work purposes. But man, anyway, thanks guys for being here, and that was a blast of a cast. I'm excited for the next one. So.